Well, good morning. I am Mireya Herrera, co-founder of Outcome Engine. And at Outcome Engine, our promise is simple. We only build the custom software, mobile apps, websites, and digital strategies that align with your goals and the needs of your users. But today, we're focusing on a topic that is transforming the way businesses operate, AI for business efficiency. So let's face it. Too much time is being wasted on repetitive tasks. And AI is helping cut through the noise so that we can focus on what matters: growth, strategy, and customers. Before we dive into AI tools, I want to take a moment to talk about what AI is and how it's being used. Now, you might feel like it's a new trend, but guess what? It's not. It's been around for a while, actually since around the 1980s. So if you have been on a website, you've used a chatbot, or perhaps you've received fraudulent alerts from your bank, or maybe Netflix has recommended your next binge-worthy series. Well, guess what? You've interacted with AI. But what really brought AI to the spotlight, even though it's been around for a long time, is because of ChatGPT. ChatGPT came into our world, and it became something that businesses and people like you and I can use on a daily basis, whether it was for automation, decision-making, or improving efficiency. And that's why adoption has surged so quickly, and it's for good reason. It's helping businesses like you and I work smarter, not harder. So where are businesses today in stats? So 77% of companies are either using AI or are actively exploring its potential. 72% of businesses have adopted AI for at least one business function. 64% of businesses expect AI to increase productivity, and 42% of business owners stated that it will streamline their job process. So these numbers are saying it's not just a trend. It's already a key part of our business operations. Now that we've gone over stats, let's go over some misconceptions. First, AI is not magic. It's just smart automation. There are a lot of people that are afraid of AI. But again, remember, every time you're on Netflix, it's telling you what you should watch, so you're not afraid then, shouldn't be afraid today. AI isn't thinking, it's predicting. It's looking at existing data, and it's learning. It makes an educated guess on what comes next. If it doesn't have any data, it's not going to be able to recommend anything. And that's why it's improving daily. AI learns from patterns. The more data it processes, the better it's getting on spotting trends and automating tasks. AI doesn't understand like humans do. It generates responses based on probability and not actual comprehension. AI does not have feelings. It sometimes can be very abrupt, but it can also help you if you're very abrupt. I tend to use it both ways. It's not about replacing people. It's about making people work more efficient, and it's freeing up time for higher value tasks. AI is an incredibly powerful tool, but it's not perfect. Like any technology, it has its limitations. So here are some things to be mindful of. It's biased. Again, it learns from data. If the data is flawed, so are the results. Privacy. Many AI tools process data, and it's important to understand that your data is being stored there. If you are using an AI tool that is free, your information is more than likely being used to improve its data model. So what does that mean? If you're going to use a free AI tool, I would recommend that you don't add anything as far as business strategy or anything that's proprietary, or you just don't want anybody to know, or I would upgrade your plan. So what's the best approach? Always keep a human in the loop. AI is there to assist you. It's not there to make decisions for you. Now that we've covered AI adoption, how it's growing, and what we should be careful of, we're going to talk about what it's actually doing for businesses today. So beyond content generation and chatbots, AI is now embedded into business operations, helping with workflows, optimizing processes, and improving efficiency across industries. CRM and customer experience. AI is helping better understand their customers. It's helping personalize interactions and automate support, because guess what? We're not always available 24/7, and we have to rely on the chatbots. No-code platforms. For businesses that need automation, but don't have in-house developers, it can automate that for you using a no-code platform such as Zapier. Websites. There's AI-assisted design tools when you're building a website. It can help you move templates around, it can help you generate content, and it can optimize layouts for you without requiring an expert in that field. Web apps, mobile apps, and custom software, which is my special little area that I love, right? And even as being part of web apps, mobile apps, and custom software, something we offer, I'm not afraid of it because guess what? It's providing tools such as Copilot, and it is allowing me to be able to develop faster and better quality. Overall, for all of these examples that I just gave you, it's only helping improve processes and help you be more efficient. But it's not replacing strategy, expertise, or critical thinking. So a website builder, yes, it's going to help you be able to develop faster. You're not going to have to depend on anyone to help you. However, it doesn't mean it's going to be scalable, and it doesn't mean that it's going to be aligned with your business goals. So keep that in mind. It can't read your mind. A tool like Copilot for web apps, mobile apps, and custom software, it's going to make a junior developer a faster and more efficient junior developer. But it's still going to require that strategic engineer to be able to architect how that model should look. For CRM and customer experience, yes, it's going to make you more efficient. It's going to personalize and automate for you. But the human judgment, that's what people hire us for, right? It's us humans building trust and long-term relationships. So these tools aren't just saving time, they're improving accuracy, and it's helping us scale faster. But like any tool, it's only going to work as good as we do the tool that helps us to be more strategic. So let's look at AI in action. For those of you who are not familiar, this is ChatGPT. I really love ChatGPT because it's like a personal assistant. It's perfect for me. I've used Cloud, I've used Gemini on the one sheet that I passed around. You can scan that QR code. There's a lot of other tools that are available and that will be available for you, not just when it comes to chat, but also like any automation tools or anything else you might be interested in. But anyway, I've used a lot of them, and AI is like an assistant. I'm very particular. So an assistant that may work for you, that's creative and super bubbly and asking me a million questions, is not going to work for me. I actually will probably hate it because I just want to get to the point and be like, tell me what I need. See some hands raised. Tell me what I need and get rid of the fluff. I'm constantly telling ChatGPT, can you get rid of the fluff? Just get rid of it. Stop being so bubbly. So this is ChatGPT, and you can easily search for any of your previous chats. You can create new chats by clicking on the pencil icon, and then you add that there. ChatGPT has projects. I love projects because it helps to be able to keep everything organized, and it keeps everything contained into a folder. What that means is that if you have kids, or in my case, nieces, that sign into your computer and ask ChatGPT for help with their science project, guess what? It's not going to mess with any of your business operations or any emails that maybe you were working on or working strategically, because that's happened. My niece was actually working on a project, and she's like, I don't understand. It's bringing up science, and I'm working on history. It's giving me the wrong summary. So she's recognizing what she's reading, and I'm like, well, you're not using projects, babe. What is wrong with you? So for my intro, actually for my example, so what I want to do first is I want to show you, there's ChatGPT allows you to upload from your computer. It allows you to search, and the really cool thing about uploading is you can upload a file, you can upload images. I've used it in, I dropped a pill one time, and I had they all look the same, and I was like, I don't know, they've been in this little baggie, so I was like, what is this? And so I didn't know what it was, so I just took a picture of it, I uploaded it, and I'm like, what is this? And it was able to recognize based off patterns. Pharmaceuticals are great about that. So I was able to recognize what type of pill it was. But it also, if there's an image that you're looking for, let's say the ketchup bottle, you're like, tell me everything about this ketchup bottle. It will tell you everything based off of that image. And so what I went ahead, my example today is going to be on the 12-week year. So as a business, We are trying this. We started, we're actually week 11, and this has helped us keep a little bit more organized. And really, like, we're thinking, for us, we're trying out thinking as a quarterly, in quarters rather than a year. So we have very short-term goals. And one thing that we do is that every week, either on Sunday or Monday, for me it's usually Sunday night because I'm a planner. And what I do is that I plan out what my week is going to look like. We're a very small team, so I definitely have time blocks for my clients, but everything else I block out time so I can think strategically, or I know what am I going to work on. So those times are not actually blocked, but they're on my calendar. So if you ever look at my calendar, it's definitely blue, purple, yellow, and it all means something different. So what I've already done here is I put together what I would normally do. I'm going to go into my project, and what I said is, okay, today is Friday. My schedule starts on Monday. I've already set instructions for ChatGPT, so it knows that I like to work out in the morning, have my coffee, and officially I do not do meetings before 10. Only special occasions such as today. But if you ask me, if you say, hey, can we get coffee? Sure, anytime after 10. I don't like to rush in the morning. And so it knows that I don't really take lunch breaks, but it knows, ChatGPT already knows that I like to have little blocks of breaks and just to go and just take a breather. And so what I've done is that I've said, this is what I have going on for the week, and this is what I need to accomplish. Based on this, please provide me with my schedule. So you can see this, I have, please provide me with my schedule, and it's thinking. So you can see, look, I have my schedule. So now I have Monday, Tuesday, and it goes on all the way to Friday. And so it started at 10. And of course, the one thing you want to do is you want to check for accuracy. So something I always do. And sometimes I think that GPT is wrong. And I'm like, you didn't give me a break. And it's like, well, because you're taking an hour for the doctor. Where did you want to have a break at? And I was like, oh, right. And it will talk back to me because I think it's already like done with liking the abuse. So anyway, something that would normally take an hour or maybe a little longer is now only taking me about 20 minutes. So I go back again. For me, I look at what's all on my calendar. I write it down Monday, 10 to 11, this to 12 to 1. And then I say, okay, this is all of my goals. And I use Notion. So I'll do a screenshot sometimes, and I'll just say, okay, take everything that I need to do. And it'll do 30-minute blocks. They'll follow-ups, my buffer block. And so this has really worked for me. And this is just an example of how great ChatGPT is. So how do you get the most out of AI? Well, it comes down to how you use it. AI is only as good as your input. If your input is terrible, trust me, it's going to be terrible, and you're probably going to be upset because it didn't understand. And that's just how it is. So, for example, if I'm cleaning up an email, and sometimes I'm like, here's my email, clean this up. And it's very abrupt. It will literally clean up the email, get rid of the typos, and leave it. And I'm like, no, Chat GPT, you're supposed to make it friendly. Get rid of it. It doesn't. And so I have to be specific. I have to say, here's my email. Please make it more friendly, make it less abrupt, give it a better transition. And then it will do that for you. Train your AI. Seriously, I cannot tell you enough. If you do not train it, you're going to end up doing the same thing over and over and over again. So ChatGPT also has a way to be able to, it remembers things. So you can say log that my emails always end with best. Log that I always, I don't like the word, for example, I say do not use jargon or buzzwords. Do not be bubbly. I hate that. And sometimes it gets a little confused when it's a little too fluffed, or I'm like, oh, this email sounds really bad. Make it a little bit more fluffy. And then obviously I confuse it, so I go back and delete certain things so it doesn't mess with it. So the more context you provide it, the better results you're going to get. Ask AI to ask you. Don't assume that it knows everything. Before, you can probably just add everything and say, hey, help me come up with a proposal. And it's going to give you what it thinks that the proposal should have. I have been a victim of not including everything, and it just makes all this stuff up. I'm like, where did you even come up with this proposal? It was just based off of history, right? And so You need to be able to give it the information and tell it. Sometimes it's like, tell me everything you need. So, for example, somebody can say, my niece has a genetic disorder. And so when her labs come in, we tend not to wait for the doctor. As many of you probably do, do the same, right? So I put her, my sister will call me and she's like, hey, here are her charts. Can you put her labs in? And I'll put the labs in. Tell it to ask us all. So I'll say, tell me everything, the information you need in order to be able to translate this or to tell me in a way that I understand. And then I'll say, have you received another diagnosis before? What am I basing this off of? Right. And then it's really good. So once it gives me the report, then it tells me this is what it looks like. I can say, oh, can you tell me a little bit more? What does this mean? How does this like, what do you need in order to be able to answer this question for me? And it'll tell you, and then it'll give it to you in one, two, three. It'll numerically ask you these questions, and then you can go back and answer each one. And then it's going to give you better findings. It'll ask me questions in order to generate a report. So for example, for financial projections for 2025, I also handle our finance and our accounting for the company. And so when I was coming up with these numbers, I'm like, historically, this is what I have. What information do you need in order to help me with these projections? And it said, how many sales, what is your goal for the year? How many would your businesses, are they small, medium, large? How much revenue would each potentially bring? So it'll ask you all the questions in order to help generate the report, but you need to ask it. It's not going to assume that it knows. Verify everything. Always fact check. Because if it doesn't have enough information, such as, let's say, financial projections, and I say, this is what I want this report to look like, and I'm missing a very key number in there, it's going to base it off of the data that it has, and it's just going to make that number up. So again, I'm pretty familiar with like financial projections and numbers. And so I check them and I'm like, wait a minute, ChatGPT, did you make this up? Yes, I did. Because you did not give me this piece of information. So always fact check. Be specific. Like I mentioned, you cannot be vague with your questions. You need to give clear details. And in order to get a better response, just be very, very, very specific. AI loves to hallucinate. Again, this is part of when it runs out of information, it's just going to start making something up. And you can ask it, did you make this up? Again, it's going to be like, yes, no, or no. Remember, you told me. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. You can ask, where did you get this information? Can you show your sources? And even that, sometimes if you're asking for facts, I want to look at these statistics, pull this for me. And then it'll say, oh, numbers aren't jiving. They're just like, wait a minute, this doesn't seem right. And it's like, can you provide your source? Oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. And then it'll correct it. So if you're not using AI, how do you start? Well, you start small and you scale up. These are some tips on where to start. So you can use it for brainstorming and idea generation. I loved jot down rough ideas. I tend to, for strategic meetings, I tend to just do a data dump. I just start typing everything I can think of. This is what I want. This is what I hate. This is my goals. Literally treat it like a counselor or therapist, right? So I start throwing everything in there. Nothing is in order. There's no structure, no filter. And when I'm done, I ask AI to help me organize it. You help me organize my thoughts. Where am I at? And then it'll summarize it for me because it takes a lot of time. If you go back to elementary school where we would have to do, and I know kids learn a little different on how to write essays, but coming up with your idea and then you're branching it out, you don't have time for that in a business, right? And so that has really, really helped me. Summarizing meeting and notes. This is something that I use pretty often. I tend to record most meetings, and it helps two of us. One, the customer or a potential customer or anybody I'm talking to, they can go back and they can reference it. I can reference it, but it also helps me to be more engaged. So instead of me taking notes, I'm like, wait a minute, can you repeat that again? Remember those days where we had to do that? Let me write this down, and our hand just really hurts. But anyway, so we don't have to spend so much time or hire a note taker, an assistant to be able to do this. We can actually just record it And obviously you're being more engaged, you're an active listener. So you're asking questions, and it really, really helps you improve your relationships with whoever you're talking to, because you're present, right? And that's one of my goals for 2025 too, is being more present, being more alert, being more just aware of what's happening. And so what I do is that I upload the transcript, and then I say, it already knows how I like my summaries. So I say, here's my transcript. Can you please summarize this for me? And don't forget action items. And so give me a summary and action items. And then I go back and I review it, because guess what? Sometimes it forgets things. And it'll say like, oh, so was responsible. Wait a minute. You didn't add, we forgot this action item. Oh, that's right. Let me go back and look. And then I'll go back and add that action item. So it's not perfect, but it's a great tool to help you improve, be more efficient. Planning your weekly schedule. I showed you that. I use it every week, and I love it because now I don't have to worry about continuously shift. Before, I would shift everything. This doesn't work. I guess an hour tomorrow, I guess this. And now I can say, okay, this is really, really important. I have a deadline of Thursday. I need to spend at least 2 to 3 hours on this. And what it does is that it doesn't help me. It doesn't block. It knows that I don't do well when I do 3 hours of one thing, block 3 sessions of one, because I've trained it. You're looking at me like, what? Yeah, I've trained it. I don't like doing 3 hour blocks. And so give me 2 sessions. Monday will be 3 to 4:30. And then Wednesday will be, and then it'll give me like Thursday morning, it'll do a buffer block of 30 minutes. Go back and review and prepare for this. So that's one of the big reasons that I love ChatGPT. It helps improve communication. So as I mentioned, I draft emails, and not all emails, but some of them need, because I'm always on the go, I do tend to be a little bit more abrupt. And my business partner always reminds me like, hey, and I'm like, don't worry, it'll sound nicer in an email. When your clients are past due, you want to say like, hey, you're past due. When are you paying me? AI knows how to soften that up. So, writing and content support. So, AI can help you refine your marketing copy, product descriptions, web content, customer responses. So, this is super helpful. We have our website. We have, for example, I have a certain tone. So, we want to keep that tone. And sometimes we have these great ideas, and we just don't know. We're like, I have these ideas. I want to provide this, but how do I say this? You're stuck on a word. You're like, what is that word? And so I throw it in there, and I'm like, using my tone, help me improve this. And it does that for you. So how do you start? If you're not using it at all, pick one small task and test it out. You can start with an email, anything, even like how to talk to your children. Trust me, it can help you. My nieces, why is my sister had this? She's like, I don't know. She's just not listening to me. And I'm like, oh, it's your phrasing. Let me help you. So next is experiment with prompts to get better results. And like I said, you're going to learn a little by little, how, what are your time blocks, and it learns a little bit about you. Adjust and refine. If you keep changing your mind and you're not going back and deleting or revising your rules, it's going to be a mess. Clean it up, take time. If you look at mine, I have things pretty, if it's like connecting, have already it all divided. So once you started using AI, maybe you're already using AI every day and you're like, well, I guess I'm done. I don't need this session. No, guess what? It can help you generate images. So this is really great if you're trying to come up with content. It can help you with research. I love this. So recently we were working on a project, and my client says, well, this will be really easy for you. I just need resources, 20 resources and 20 of this and that. And it has to be for this age group. And so I'm like, wait a minute, this is not that easy, right? And so ChatGPT, if it has an option on the bottom, it says deep research. So you can use deep research. And it's not instant. So it's going to take like 17, 30 minutes or so, but it'll tell you when it's ready. And you can see it think. So if you're looking for, my niece was she was looking for some reports for a project, and she was more community. And so she went in, and we did a little bit of deep research on universities. Give me case studies, show me examples of where this has worked and what it hasn't. Give me at least 20 resources. And so you can see it thinking, now I'm looking on University of Arizona and I'm checking for this. And so you can see the whole process the entire time. It helps you with industry trends and forecasting. So if you can actually upload a lot of different documents and you can say, extract this information for me and help me, what does this mean? Again, you're not going to import it and be like, tell me. You need to be specific as to what you want to know, right? And then there's so much more beyond the basics. The internet is free. Use it and be creative. And once you're ready, if you use it, my key takeaways. So if you use it right, it will simplify your business process. But remember, strategy comes first. So our jobs are not going to be obsolete, right? We're continually, it's going to give us time to continue to learn, pick up a book, listen to some podcasts, improve our skills so that we can be a better resource for our clients. Use AI to automate, analyze, and accelerate. It's not going to replace human decision making. AI is a tool, it's not a replacement. And it's only going to work best when you train it. And you're going to train it to your business needs because, again, everything that I use might not work for you. So based off of if you're more creative, it can be more creative. It's really great. And try different tools. So I only showed you ChatGPT, but I've used Claude. I used Gemini. My business partner, she was loving Gemini. I think she might still be using it. I haven't asked, but they all work differently. And again, it's like your personal assistant. You need to find the right one.